Hey everybody, weekly update here. It is Saturday. Film Friday was yesterday, so I'm a day behind. I was playing with Christmas lights and decorations yesterday, so I'm trying to be consistent here and try to put one out once a week. So notice the stringer is, people call them stringers, are actually called fairings, fairing assembly. That's the bottom piece, and then there's two sides, port and starboard is on the other side. So while I'm covering that, there's starboard, which is the right side. What they do, and over here's some spare parts that was bought when I was in a barn find. Actually, that stuff was in a barn. I actually cut loose on the very end up there. There's a repair piece on this one over here. Actually, so you take the fairing assembly, well, actually you take the canvas and put over the fairing assembly, and then that's what those lines, and that one is where it was previously on there. And then you make your airplane fuselage. So that's how that goes. There's some repair pieces. Let me back up here just a second. They were hanging up there, so we're taking pieces off the wall. They were hanging up there, across there. For safekeeping, to keep from wadding them up any worse than what they were after they came through the crash. What I mean by that is this piece right here will have to be repaired. I got two pieces up here in the seat, which will go here and here. And the reason why is because of this piece right here, that splice, and that one's got a ding or something in it somewhere too. So let's drill the rivets out of it and drill holes in that and re-rivet it, and off we go. So this piece got mangled here. This is that piece that came off the other one. It's got some holes already formed in it. There are the two broke ones, and then there are repairs. That one's new and that one's new, and then they'll go. So that's station 2 and 3 down here. Here's station 1, station 1. Station 2 goes across those set of holes. Station 3, there's a set of holes there, and then station 4, and I got to do a repair there, and then put in this long one here. If you notice, it makes a turn. And if you look at the airplane, it makes that turn about right there. Gets more narrower. So that's one whole piece there, and they just turned it, didn't cut it or splice it. That's where that one broke, so I'm gonna make my splice back here on a straight run. So let's come all the way up here and go straight back there, make a splice, get a piece of another one set down inside it, which is what I've done here, because there's a crack right in here on this one. Rivet that in, give some strength, and off we go, and get it painted. So that's what I was up to. Also put some brackets. That thing's just hanging up there. It's not connected. I just got it hanging right here, which it actually goes below it, and it bolts to these from behind up here, and hanging back here, hanging onto the Cleco back there. So got to clean all this up, get it painted. But last week was brackets, getting the brackets, and that's where these bolt on right there to right there, and then it gets clamped onto the frame, and that's what holds it together. And then this piece goes to these pieces right here. So that'll go on the bottom, underneath there, and then connect to the two sides. Two sides are bolted to it. So that's how all that works. About 2 or 3 weeks. Actually, probably holidays are happening now too. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's see if I get back to it next week or not. Just doing some patchwork here, getting the Clecos laid in, giving it a little bit of strength, and need to lay out the hole patterns there using the old ones, so I can get the way the original to this set is. They're probably all pretty much worn off. There are measurements to go by, but they vary from 1 to 1. And that's why these two are different. This is 3/16. That 1/8 inch actually holds it. The 3/16 keeps coming out. So, that's about it. There's not a whole lot. Well, there has been a little bit going on, but just tedious. I'm gonna clean up the hardware and keep moving on. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I didn't know what color to paint this. I was gonna go with that green primer. And when I say paint this, I'm talking about the fairing assembly right there, or bird cage, or stringers. Different people call them different things, but it's the official nomenclature in the manual is fairing. You know, that's what they're called. But I wasn't sure. I was thinking about it, you know, so we need to, you know, it's in bare aluminum now, which was fine. That's the way it was before. But it's like, so everybody paints them green, or which is that green army primer, which is almost like that seatbelt color. That's a little different, but then if you look at it, it's like, are we trying to have too many different colors going on? So looked at a buddy sent me a picture of one where the actual frame and all, the frame and everything else was the army green, which is cool, and also the fairing assembly, and it looked great. So I was thinking, well, you know, we're not really too sure, so did some calling around, asked some friends, what do you think? You know, and they liked that green, but I'm thinking the reason why that looked so good on the other pictures because everything was all green and you know it all. So if I go green, now I got green, gray, black, you know, some highlight red, some, you know, some leather in here, and it's like, ooh, you know, whiten it with a lot of different colors. So what's going to happen with this one, right or wrong, is we're going with that battleship gray is what I'll call it. It's not exactly battleship gray, but it's pretty close. This is a Navy version anyway. It is an Army, PT-17 Army, but it's going to, or PT-13. But it's going to be, you know, U.S. Navy because that's what I was. I'm a veteran of the Navy. So we'll paint this gray. So I got to get it cleaned up. I got to get it patched, cleaned up, primered, and then painted, and then we'll hang it back on. We'll go from there. So that's the weekly update for this one. There's some more of the hardware that's laid out and ready to go on. So this gets bolted to the frame here. It gets bolted to the frame with those clamps on the bottom, and then the bottom one over there is getting patched right now. That one gets attached to both sides with this bracket right there. So, and then you just wrap it and move it on. It does have some metal that goes on. There's some access panels here. It doesn't have an access panel there, but it does have a piece of metal going over that one. That's the forward cockpit, rear cockpit. So, yeah. That's all I got going on this week. This is going to be cut this one off a little bit short, but that's it. See y'all next week.